Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. All right, Q&A. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. So I am going to dive right in. They are great questions today. First one being, is it better to walk faster or a bit slower with more incline, or does it matter? So when it comes to overall movement, steps are great. If you're doing them on the treadmill, if you increase the incline, it's going to work different muscle groups, specifically more of your glutes when we walk at an incline, especially if you're not hanging on. When we are putting the incline up, if I have you doing zone 2 cardio or intervals on the treadmill, I will have you playing with the incline. You are not to hold on because that just defeats the purpose of walking at an incline, but it truly does not matter what you choose to do. You are going to have to utilize more effort, which you'll have to, when you're walking at an incline, it's harder to do, plain and simple. You're going to be burning more calories. You are utilizing your glutes, your heart rate's going to go up. So does it matter? You're probably going to be better off from a cardiovascular perspective and also calorically if you do walk at a little bit of an incline. I am now doing a little bit of incline walking just as part of this 6-week challenge with a lot of you ladies. I'm doing 10 to 15 minutes of an incline walk after my workouts, but typically I am just outside no matter what the temperature is, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's warm, whatever, I'm walking outside. I do my 10,000 steps outside 95% of the time. All right, next question. Tips for staying on track on the road and during busy days. So let's start with busy work days. If you have a lot of things on your plate and you think you are going to possibly skip meals, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is to start your day with a massive breakfast. I'm talking like 6, 7, 8, 900 calories, maybe upwards of 1,000 if you can stomach that. And it's actually not that difficult to do, especially if you add liquid calories. If you are adding a smoothie on top of your eggs and toast and fruit, for example, then it's really, really easy to get quite a few calories in. I'm not saying you have to drink that smoothie right away with breakfast, but it's something that obviously you can continue to consume for an hour after your meal, kind of like time release it in a roundabout way. But if you can't get your regular like snacks in, then choose to eat your 3 main meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you can't get your main meals in, start with breakfast, a massive breakfast that just sets the tone energy-wise. Of course, decreases cravings, stabilizes your blood sugar, make sure that you are got some pep in your step, I suppose. And then snacks, if that's the only thing that you can find yourself doing in those busy days. So this will go into kind of like the road trips, but having hard-boiled eggs, pepperoni, turkey pepperoni, jerky, fruit, nuts, roasted edamame beans, veggies, and hummus. Like those are quick, easy grab things. RX bars, Lara bars. I actually found, where's my bag? It is gone. I found a new protein bar that I have to share with you guys that is quite good. What else? If you can come up with anything else as you watch this video here, just drop it in the comments on what you take on the road. I know a lot of busy moms in this group have some staples that they pack, but again, like having protein powder in little baggies, you probably always have your water bottle, or I just bring shaker cups with me. was going to show you my shaker cup. Don't have it upstairs with me. But you get my drift here. It is actually quite easy to stay on track on the road. There just needs to be, of course, some forethought about all of these things that I just mentioned, packing a cooler. And I know there's lots of sports and soccer and ball and summer activities happening and camping and road trips. So this will be very helpful if you need some tips. All right, next. I'm struggling to get into meal prepping on Sundays. Tips. So you do not have to meal prep on Sundays. That is like the universal meal prep day. You can meal prep whenever it is convenient for you. I have clients meal prep on Monday because that's their day off. They like doing it there. I have clients prep on Saturday. I am prepping today because I want to set myself up for success on the weekend. It is whenever it is convenient for you. I will get up at 5:30 and I will start prepping food if that's what I need to do because I don't have any food that day. There's no rules to food prepping. It's scheduling it, obviously deciding what you are going to eat, making sure you have the groceries, and following through. And then these next questions are kind of going to all tie into this. Next question is, I feel like I'm getting a little fed up with chicken since this is always on my lunch menu. You do not have to eat chicken. There are so many other protein options, and it could just be that you are cooking it the exact same way every single time. And that's the thing, we need to add variety to our meals by spicing it up differently, cooking it up differently, like meaning you could have chicken breast, you could have chicken thighs, you could have chicken tenders, you could have ground chicken, which you can make ground, or you can make burgers, you can make meatballs. There's like beef is so incredibly versatile as well. Do not shy away from beef. That is the top protein in my opinion. It is considered one of the best protein options because of its nutrition profile. It's got tons of B vitamins, specifically B12. It has specific amino acids that help with muscle building, muscle growth. It, to me, is super versatile, right? You can have steak, you can make steak bites, you can make burrito bowls, you can make a burger bowl, you can make burgers, you can make meatballs, you can make chili. Like there's a ton of things that you can make with beef. And then don't forget about seafood, right? There's several different fish, salmon, whitefish, tuna. What am I missing? Shrimp is also super duper easy. I eat that a lot for lunch just because it takes 5 minutes to prep. Like you don't even have to prep shrimp in advance. I will thaw it in the morning and then it takes me 5 minutes to cook. I can put my meal together in less than, let's say, 7 minutes and I'm eating. Protein can also come in the form of legumes, vegan sources. So we're talking tempeh, tofu, beans, chickpeas, black beans. Do kidney beans have a lot of protein? I don't even know. I don't eat a lot of legumes. I'm going to be completely honest. So I'm more of a meat eater myself, but even having eggs for lunch, having breakfast for lunch, having breakfast for dinner, right? Like, I think there's so many food rules that I don't know who made these up, but we can break all the food rules. I think the most important thing is to just make sure that you are eating balanced meals, meaning you've got a protein source for sure. You're always thinking protein forward. That's the star of your dish. And then what else can you have with that dish? So protein forward, make sure you've got vegetables. So your fiber for sure. And then some type of starch. So that can be a squash, that can be a rice, that can be a pasta, that can be a potato, that could be oats, that could be bread if you tolerate gluten as well. And I had something else I was going to say and I've forgotten. Oh, just to talk about fat quickly. Fat doesn't necessarily always have to be part of your meal depending on the protein source. If you are eating salmon, there's lots of healthy fats in salmon. There's no need to add a fat, but you can. Fat it's necessary and it's not anything to shy away from whatsoever. So I hope that helps with protein sources at lunch. You do not have to eat chicken for lunch every single day. Mix it up. Next question. I'm struggling with wanting to log my food because it's feeling like a chore. And I hear this a lot, and I get it. It is something else to add to your list of things to do. If your goal is to maintain your body weight or put on muscle or lose body fat, we need to know how much you are consuming. It's just plain and simple. It's just like balancing your checkbook, right? We get statements from the bank to tell us where we're spending our money, saving, so on and so forth. The same thing happens with your calorie intake. And I think we have to look at it. It's a mindset thing once again, that it is a tool, a strategy that is helping you. There's no chore associated with it in my brain. Like that's the way I view it. And I think that people view it as a chore because they're new to it. They're not quite sure how to go about doing it. It's just not a priority. They're on their phones, but they're scrolling Instagram or they're scrolling Facebook or whatever it is when they could be spending the time logging their food, learning about the app. But as adults, like we don't like necessarily learning new things. We like to be comfortable. We don't like to be uncomfortable. Learning something new gets us out of our comfort zone once again. And we're just like, whatever. But yet we all want to achieve a certain physical goal without putting in the work. Now tell me how that works. It doesn't work great. And I'm not saying you have to track food for the rest of your life. That is not what I want you to do at all. But spending 6 months of your life dialing in your nutrition, knowing what is in foods, because that's the other thing too, is a lot of people have no idea. Like if I asked you how many grams of protein are in 100 grams of chicken, most people wouldn't have a clue. But over time, when you weigh 100 grams of chicken over and over and over again, you learn what that looks like what that looks like, and you now know that that's 31 grams of protein. So you're like, yes, okay, I've hit my protein goal for that meal. But without tracking and learning that, a lot of people have no idea. If I tell you, you need to hit 120 grams of protein, well, how the heck do you do that? You learn to do that by tracking your food. And once again, reframing your mind to saying, this is a tool, this is a strategy that is actually going to help me reach my goals faster rather than spinning my wheels, spinning my tires, just guesstimating, is this what I need or is this not what I need? So I hope that helps. It's just reframing that mindset. All right, menu planning is always an issue for me. I feel my lunch and breakfast are pretty solid, but dinners are still a struggle to decide on. I get this. One of the biggest hacks that you can use is ChatGPT. If you have logged your breakfast, your lunch, your snacks, and you have, for example, 15 grams of fat, you have 35 grams of protein, and 35 grams of carbs. This is just an example. You can go into ChatGPT and say, create a meal with 35 grams of protein, 15 grams of fat, I think that's what I said, and 35 grams of carbs with whole foods. and it will tell you exactly what you can eat in order to hit those targets. You can even use ChatGPT to make your entire meal plan, which is genius. Put in your macros. You can put in, 3 meals, 2 snacks with whatever macros you eat, create a meal plan for me, give me 3 options of each, blah, 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 which can be hugely helpful. So that would be my biggest tip for you. If dinners are hard to decide on, this is where I would involve your family. Don't let it all fall on your shoulders. If you've got kids and a husband that you also need to feed, getting their opinion, I think, is super important. And of course, you can always put a healthier spin on what you need to eat to reach your goals. Once again, hopefully that's helpful. All right, last but not least, wondering the benefits of stretch days. I enjoy them, just wondering if it's because of my age or if I should have always been doing these stretch days. We should always have been doing stretch days. And I think that is something that gets pushed behind just because we don't feel like it's super beneficial. Like you don't get sweaty. It doesn't feel necessarily hard, but it is so beneficial to your joints, to your ligaments, to your muscles, to your nervous system, recovery, muscle growth. Like there are hormones to hormone balance. The list goes on and on and on. We should have probably been doing this right from the get-go. I'm guilty of not, but in the last 2, maybe coming up on 3 years now for me, this has been a massive, massive switch in my training. I used to train intensely to the point where I really, really did damage on my body, and I am still working on repairing that. I have some nagging injuries, both my shoulders, my left hip, my right knee. These are not things I really openly talk about, but I've got some injuries from not taking care of my body, from training too intensely, not warming up properly, not doing mobility, not cooling down. So this is a non-negotiable for me. It absolutely should be a non-negotiable for yourself. And if you think, oh my gosh, this is just like another thing to add to my list, it doesn't have to be like a big ordeal is what I'm getting at. 5 minutes every single day, whether you habit stack in the morning, when you are doing your gratitude, or doing it at night when you are watching TV or like settling down, even like shutting off the TV, adding this as part of your nighttime routine, I think is so, so beneficial for sleep, especially if you struggle with sleep. It's a great, great way to regulate your nervous system, get you into a more parasympathetic nervous system, because I know these days we are just like, go, 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 go. That just having that routine of stretching in the evenings, doing some meditation, some breath work, really getting in tune with your body, your muscles, like slowing down without distraction is incredibly powerful. So once again, that is it for today. Let me know if you've got any questions, and I hope you have a fabulous Thursday. Talk to you soon.